If your team struggles at keeping possession in a game and you're thinking about things you want to work on in training to help them improve, it's not just doing rondos, it's not just working on the ability to pass the ball. Often, when teams or individual players are having trouble keeping possession, it starts with their individual confidence on the ball. Too often, when players get a ball during the game, the only thing they're thinking about is not to lose it. And if you have a player playing that way, and you have a whole team of players playing that way, you're not going to be able to keep possession because they're not trying to play the game, they're just trying not to lose the ball. The ability as a team to keep the ball and possess during the game starts with individual confidence of every player. Players have to A, want the ball, and then B, on the ball, feel confident in their ability to keep it, knowing that when the ball comes to their feet, they can do whatever they want. So often in training, what we're working on is how fast a player can get the ball off their feet and working continuously on their ability to receive and pass and just play quickly in passing lines or in rondos or 3 or 4 versus 1. But what happens is the game is a little bit different. When you get the ball in the game, you don't always have a pass immediately. There's not always an option. You're not always playing 4 versus 1. So when you're playing 4 versus 4, 8 versus 8, 9 versus 9, 11 v 11, whatever format your teams play, where you're at, you have to think about that. They're not going to have as much time and space. So your players have to be able to receive a ball under pressure, and if there's not an option to pass right away, be able to keep the ball still in order for your team to keep possession. And that's the difference. What you see happen is if a player gets the ball and they have an opportunity to play someone and if someone's open immediately, they'll keep it. But in the instances, which is more often than not, they get the ball and there's someone not immediately open, they panic. They don't know what to do with the ball. And they don't do well with their first touch to create more space and time to find options or give their teammates a little more time to get in a position where they can play on the ball. Instead, they panic, they kick it away, and they lose it. So your team's ability to possess starts with your players' individual ability and confidence on the ball. So you can't skip that step. You can have players, a group of players who can receive and pass the ball really well, but if they're not individually confident on the ball, they're going to struggle to keep possession against teams that are well organized and put a lot of pressure on you, because they're going to have no other options except to look for receive and then pass and just kick. And if they don't have a pass right away, they're just going to kick the ball and turn possession over. So if you want to have a team that's very good at possessing individually, possessing as a group and keeping the ball during the games, you can't just work on your rondos, you can't just work on pass and receiving. You also have to work on your players' ability to keep the ball at their feet and have the confidence to play away from pressure, dribble out of pressure, receive and play with defenders around them when they're outnumbered. That's how you keep possession. Especially, and this is the key point for me, in the final third. You see a lot of teams be able to possess, and they can possess in their own end. They do okay in the middle of the field, but in the final third, when there's less space and time, and often your number's down, they can't keep hold of the ball, and they can't play fast enough and make decisions on the ball quick enough and deal with the ball individually in a tight space to be able to keep the ball and look for opportunities in that part of the field. Teams will get to that part of the field, run out of ideas, run out of room. They can't keep possession individually, and possession's lost, and often no scoring chance is even created. So again, you want to be better at possessing the ball. You want to be able to be better at possessing the ball, especially in the final third. It starts with the player's individual ability on the ball. Make sure you're working on that as well. Not just rondos, not just passing the ball and in possession type games, but putting your players in situations where they have to get out of pressure with their feet, not necessarily with a pass.